Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troupe Online.
Soup. We are so excited for this episode, you guys. So for those of you who are first-time viewers, first of all, welcome. We are so excited to have you. A little bit about what this is. Danny and I both met at Frenchwood's Festival for the Performing Arts, where we, alongside our work husband, Colwright Shaner, created this soup platform to talk about, the importance of soups in our everyday lives and rate it, based on taste, texture, viscosity, presentation, much more. And with the coronavirus pandemic shutdown, we decided to bring this platform online, and we are so excited to bring soup to all of you today. So Danny, question for you. Any Thanksgiving soups that you had or any leftover soups that we still have?
It's funny that you asked, Danny. I'm going to shout out my amazing sister, Nikki. She is quite the chef. And having such a small Thanksgiving this year, I know we have all been faced with, obviously, it stinks that we had such a small Thanksgiving because of the virus. And for me, I know that my mom and I did not know how to make those recipes smaller. So we have a ton of leftovers, so many leftovers. And my sister actually ended up making a turkey soup. And get this, here's the kicker. She made matzo balls out of leftover stuffing. Have not tried the soup yet. It's on the stove right now. It's cooking up. But let me tell you, I am so excited for it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great leftover upcycled soup. I'm very excited for it. Danny, do you have any leftover soups, or did you enjoy any soups on Thanksgiving?
We don't have any soups left over because in this household, the soup goes right away. But we did have, my mom made this wonderful, it was butternut squash and sweet potato soup. And it was very intriguing because those are wonderful flavors, complementary, but I was a little skeptical about the combination of them together because they're almost too similar that I didn't know if I wanted both tastes at once, but it was absolutely wonderful. For those of you who don't know, Danny and I live about 35 minutes away, and if you put a Tupperware of that stuffing soup on your doorstep, I will come pick it up. I want some.
You know what? I might do that, Danny. Maybe I'll take a trip and bring you some soup.
Maybe. Who's to say?
Maybe.
Right. Well, without further ado, we have two very special guests today. We are so excited to welcome them. The first is none other than Mr. Josh Daniel. You may know him from the Broadway and national tour companies of Book of Mormon. He is also currently in Little Shop of Horrors off-Broadway. And we are so excited to welcome him. But more importantly, he is an amazing college coach. If you are looking for college auditions, you must use him at MTCA. Recommend him, bother Ellen, do the whole thing. We are so excited to welcome Josh Daniel.
Hi, Danny. Oh my God, Danny, I need you at every gig I do to introduce me. Also, while you were talking about college coaching, and let the record reflect that I was very lucky to be one Danny Feldman's MTCA song coach. And I'm very, very proud of him for many reasons, including Soup Troupe.
Josh, we are so happy to have you on Soup Troupe. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's just hop right in.
Let's go for it.
The first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Soup memory. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I was saying before we started, I'm from New Orleans, originally born and raised. The caveat here, the asterisk, is that I am horrible at cooking. I find no joy in it. I find it. There's no part of me makes it fills me with anything other than it's just a perfunctory thing that I must do because I must eat. So let all those records reflect. But I would say a favorite soup memory is anything involving my grandmother's gumbo. Mama, we called her. It just felt very your idyllic, sort of New Orleans family meal moment. You can make in a big vat of gumbo. And I would say I can't find a specific one, but just when I think of gumbo, I think of family events like that.
I love that. So we know that you were in both the Broadway and national tour companies of Book of Mormon. So
Yes.
we were wondering, what are the stark differences between doing the same show on the road and on Broadway in one place? And were the soups better either on tour, and if so, what cities? And then, or were they better on Broadway?
As you were asking that, I was like, I bet he's going to make this about soup somehow.
and all of the questions.
Right. Everything is through the lens of soup. Well, I can't say that I really have thought about my time both on tour and on Broadway in the Book of Mormon through any sort of soupy lens, but I'm going to try and go for it. I mean, I think important, I went to school in Cincinnati, and we went to Cincinnati on the road. And when I went to school in Cincinnati, I had to sort of write a passage is to eat Skyline chili, which is sort of soup adjacent. Oh my God, I see the questions coming in and I'm already nervous. Okay. It's sort of soup adjacent in that, like, when I think of chili, I think of a sort of soupy viscosity, to use your word, Danny.
Thank you.
But Skyline chili is kind of this, like, I don't know if there are any Ohioans on the line. I would say cursed sort of like combo of like things that would go in a chili, but then they're also like, it's sort of like less soupy.
Yeah.
So then when I went back to Cincinnati on the road, everyone was like, oh my God, we have to go eat at Skyline Chili. It's like famous. And I was like, I don't think you have to. I think it's okay. I think there are other things Cincinnati has to offer. Maybe just a few more, but like, that has to offer than Skyline Chili, I think. I don't know. I have to come out of the closet, Danny and Danny, and say this. I'm not a big soup person. I don't know a lot about soup, and I'm interested in why soup. Like, I think that's a big question for me today that I want to learn from the both of you. Like, okay. why soup is so special to you.
I'm so glad that you asked. Why soup? Let me tell you. First and foremost, soup really brings people together. If you think about soup and you think about eating soup, it's generally with the people that you love most in this world.
My story, but come on.
Exactly. If you're having a soup with your family or with your friends, it's just genuinely a food that really brings people together. Soup is not a food. Soup is an experience. And whenever you have soup, it makes you a brighter, happier, more warm person. It's not a food. It is a moment in time.
I don't know, though. It seems like in the comments that people are getting angry that I would describe myself as not a soup person. So I think it might hit some buttons there, too.
It's okay. That's why you're on this show, so we can teach you more about soup.
I can learn, absolutely.
That way, we could help you further your soup journey. We're in the words of Soup Troupe, we're here for you.
We're here for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really, and in these unprecedented times, I appreciate it. Yes.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next question. Being in the recent off-Broadway production of Little Shop of Horrors, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've heard such great things. I want to know, if you could pick a soup that would be served on Skid Row, what soup would it be, and what would the Skid Row soup restaurant be called?
Oh my God, okay. I feel like Mr. Mushnick would make it, and so I feel like it's matzo ball soup. I kind of feel like that's sort of that kind of like tracks for me. But what would it be called? Oh my goodness, I don't know, something
like funky.
I don't know, like there's Audrey too, but then you can also go see like Soupy 2 or something, and maybe it's like Soupy like comma like TOO 2, like Soupy 2. It's like you came to see the plant, but now have some soup as well. Because as you said, soup is a moment, and soup brings people together, and it's less of a less perfunctory than maybe some other foods are. I think that's my first pass. I might have to like really workshop that, but that's what I would offer.
Mushnick and soup, says Derek.
Mushnick and soup, very end of done. Goodbye. Cut from Emmy. That's it.
Yes.
All right. So we know that you are a writer. So
Yes.
you had to write, a theatrical piece, let's say, about soup. Which soup is it centered on? Is it a play or a musical? Who is playing the soup? And what is the soup? What is the obstacle? In the words of a college coach, you have to overcome. What is standing in their way?
Wow, I'm proud that any part of the insane things I said to you as we coached have like latched on to your cerebellum somehow.
Oh, it's there forever.
Very touched. Okay, wow. So give me the first part of that, the prompt again.
So you're a writer, as we know.
Yes.
And so you're writing, a soup theatrical piece, whether that be a play or a musical. Which soup who is playing the soup? What are the obstacles? What stands in their way?
Okay, so I think I brought up gumbo before.
Okay.
Right? And a sort of contentious conversation about gumbo is it a soup or is it a stew? And I think that maybe the crux of this musical, named TBD, it'll be like untitled musical for the time being, is Gumbo's journey to discover who Gumbo is.
Okay.
Now, who would play Gumbo?
The casting pool is open, non-equity and equity. You can
the unofficial list has begun completely. Who would play Gumbo? He's coming to mind just because he lives in New Orleans and loves New Orleans, but I'm like, Michael Cerveris comes to mind.
Okay.
I feel like he would bring a there would be a very viscous performance. There's a lot there. So I'm gonna cast Michael Cerveris, at least for the first workshop.
Okay.
And then what's the obstacle? And then I think the obstacle is like Michael Cerveris as Gumbo.
Yeah.
Must decide who he is. And the real answer is that like he's neither soup nor stew, he's Gumbo. Wow. And that is its own special thing.
I love it.
I'm cry. So emotional.
Looking forward.
God, that was beautiful. That was amazing. I'm gonna give him a call, see if he's available.
Please do.
All right, moving right. That was just so beautiful. I'm like really touched. Thank you for that.
I'm kind of shocked that I strung together any words that made sense right there. When you asked that, Danny, I was like, oh God, this is gonna be.
Okay, my next question, first and foremost, what is a hurricane survival expert? I just want to know. I read it and I had to reread it because I was like, what is this?
Wait, this is actually really helpful for me because this is a reminder to update my resume. Zooming back to back in the day when I auditioned for college, many moons ago. I didn't have an MTCA song coach to tell me, oh, hey, Josh, there are things in your resume that are really, you don't have to put there. Like your social skills don't have to be quirky or charming. Ideally, you will be that in the room and the people will glean that from more than just like the Times New Roman font at the bottom of the page. So a hurricane survival expert is something that apparently has persisted on my resume that I should probably trim. Shocked my agents haven't asked me to. But
Put it on there.
A fun fact is that previously, when I auditioned for college, there was a comma after hurricane survival expert, and the last thing was gives really good hugs. And somehow I got to school. So I think when I put hurricane survival expert on my resume, I was talking about the fact that I am from New Orleans, lived through Hurricane Katrina. It happened, the Hurricane Katrina was beginning of my high school experience. And, it's, I can't believe it's still on there. It is just a sort of way for me to talk about that in hopes that I will have, and this is 2008-9, Josh speaking, this is his logic here, in hopes that that will engender a really lovely, emotional conversation that makes me feel like I'm closer to them, and then they might accept me into their school. Because what doesn't kill you makes you a more nuanced actor, as we know.
So a follow-up to that question is, if you could take any soup into your hurricane survival bunker,
wow,
what soup would sustain you through the long, hard, cold hurricane?
Okay, I have a question. Is ramen soup?
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, famously, I know I'm going to anger the people in the chat. Like, I am not a soup person, so I'm here to learn. If ramen is soup, then ramen.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, there's a place by me that has Kyoto ramen that's really excellent.
Wow.
I would say that would get me through because it's a good for you. I don't know, because it's like a bone broth, but then is broth soup? No. But broth
is a soup. I think broth is a component of soup, therefore broth can be a soup.
Yeah, there's this
Ah,
fantastic location in the city called Brodo Broth, which we bring up at least twice an episode.
Danny has brought this up every single episode without fail. He has brought it up every single time we have done.
I just sit here like maliciously waiting for the time to say it. So Brodo Broth, because it's my dream in which they're gonna ask us to sponsor them, them to sponsor us. But
I think it's gonna happen.
oh yeah, we've taken production photos for them that they don't care about. But so it's just essentially like a coffee mug of broth, and you can pick if it's bone broth or vegetable or chicken stock, and that's soup, even though there's nothing in it.
Yeah,
I'm here to learn. I don't know. I mean, if we're going in like the soup is a moment thing, it's less of the food and more of like a moment, then I think that the emotion with which you talked about that place tracks that this would be a soup. So I would bring ramen into my hurricane survival bunker, and I'm gonna edit my resume directly after this.
We're making a change here at Soup Troupe. So today we are at the moment in which we must go to the Q&A portion.
Okay.
This is, we will see what comes up. From Sarah Barinholtz, she asked Joshua, if I may be so bold, if you were to open a little shop of soup, what kind of soup would spill from the faucet?
Would spill from the faucets? Meaning like if I turn the faucet and like soup comes out. Oh, gross, disgusting soup. Maybe not even soup at all, but it's something soup adjacent, but I think not something that should be consumed.
Okay.
Love Skid Rows, I do, obviously. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of rough. It's the whole thing. So I would say something soup adjacent that like maybe even if it looks appetizing, like should not eat.
Okay.
Anna Spenley says, it's winter. The first snow falls, only it's not snow, it's soup. Now you must make a snowman, or rather a soup man. How do you go about this, and with which soup?
Okay, wow. Okay, I'm thinking. How do we? Okay, so it's still soup though.
Right.
We need something firm to keep it together.
Of course.
So maybe I'll take the ramen from my hurricane survival bunker and sort of calcify the noodles somehow so that the soup man has something to to hold them up. I don't know their gender identity. Yeah, maybe I'll use the items from the ramen. The eggs can be the little eyes. Maybe there'll be more than one hard-boiled egg in this soup. Yeah, wow.
I like we're thinking logically. Like we're thinking for the future,
2020. I mean, it could happen.
It could. Anything. Yeah, we have jumped the shark. Anything could happen.
Oh, yeah. Ned Way says, I'll ask the classic question. You are Michael Phelps going for the gold. You take the dive. The minute you hit the water, it turns into soup. What soup do you believe would be best for swimming?
Well, okay, two things. First off, it's Michael Phelps, so it's whatever soup he wants that will allow him to kiss me at the end. So my gut reaction is whatever soup Michael Phelps wants, and I don't know his soup. What do we think, Michael? It would probably be something like bone broth based because it's health and whatever, and he needs it for his 10th ab or something like that. So I'll go with something like a healthy soup.
Okay, I'll take that.
Great.
Victoria Mozaitis says, the MT colleges in the world have closed. You're now a soup autism coach. Instead of colleges, you're helping students pick the soup that best fits them. You have a soup that would apply, you would have Danny apply to.
So you're auditioning for the soup is now in place of musical theater college.
I think that the soup is really picky about who is eating them. Is what I'm getting.
So okay, great. But you passed the soup pre-screen.
Yes. Okay. Now we're at Unifieds.
Unifieds.
Oh my God! What soup? I'm trying to think of wow. Maybe instead of Missouri State University is now Mississippi State University, Ooh. And that's the premier soup college. That's what comes.
Yeah.
I know nothing about the consistency of the soup /program, but I would say Mississippi State University.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Alicia Bartosic says, it's the final callback for Little Shop. Tensions are high. Which soup is booking as Seymour?
Wow. Okay. Whatever soup is like the hottest, but also like the heartiest. If I describe Seymour Krelborn as a soup, I would say I'm literally going into like coaching mode, Danny. I would say that there's like it's kind of like flicky and like kind of like hot. It's like bubbling at the top, but the actual consistency is very, very hearty and very hearty keeps coming to mind. So whatever soup that is Seymour.
Almost like a.
Again, I need you to teach me.
Maybe like a vegetable soup. Maybe like a lentil.
Oh, that tracks.
I'm thinking if you took the layer of cheese from French onion and put it over like a vegetable or like a barley something.
Yeah, like a mushroom barley type of.
Barley. Oh, interesting. Okay, great. Yeah, that tracks to me. Like if that fits that sort of the tannins of the soup I was going for, then that's it.
Perfect. Sam Vanna says, in the not too distant future, mankind has fallen victim to a zombie plague, of which you are one of very few survivors. Which soup is your weapon of choice?
Weapon of choice.
Like you have a soup gun, like it's like a weapon.
I think like chicken noodle, because like it's beloved by many, and maybe that'll sort of like bring tensions down. So maybe if I'm shooting the chicken soup at them, they're like, "Oh, this guy, we're not going to eat." That's what I would say.
Yeah, they'll like look at the soup and they'll be like, yeah.
I'm like, oh, Josh. Oh no, he's cool. Great. Okay, yeah.
It's okay. We'll save him.
Totally.
All right. Kim Perlman says, you're between your frozen dinner and your bedtime 9:15. And of course, your frozen dinner was soup. As you snuggle watching you reminisce on your delicious meal, what soup was it?
Wow. And I'm Seymour in this situation?
It seems to be.
It seems to be. I honestly think if I'm Seymour, I am making a blood soup for Audrey too. Okay. And I'm going to use all the time that I have to cook to make her this soup. So it's just blood, but it's a soup. And then I would go to oh my god, I'm forgetting my lines. It's been so long. I would go to the Schmendrick's around the corner to grab a sandwich for me while Audrey too eats her blood soup.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. We have time for 2 more questions. The first comes from Addie. She says, if you had to create a dessert soup, what would it be made of?
Oh, wow. Chocolate. I'm like a chocolate person. So 100% chocolate.
Okay.
And like, honestly, not a lot more. Like, I want the majority of it. Sometimes I think like chocolatey things that are like melted, it's like people don't make the main event chocolate. And like, I want the main event to be chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a lot of other stuff. I just need to get to the,
I agree with that. I agree with that a lot. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. And our final question is very simply put. It's from Trevor Shingler. He says, soup bath bomb from with
Oh, that's really good. Oh my god. If it's from Lush, it's got to be some like 100% like vegan, paleo, like non-GMO, like there is fair trade, cage free, ethically made soup.
Yeah.
So vegan is, I think, the most specific adjective I can come up with, but like something that is all those, like there are so many little circles like saying what it's not, like around the corner of the bath bomb like case. They don't even come in cases. So
I think that's really interesting to think about. Like if you have a bath bomb and you put it in the bath and it creates a soup bath, wow, what a concept.
Is a bath bomb all just inherently soup that you're getting? Is a bubble bath just like you putting yourself in soup that your body is then ingesting vis-a-vis your pores?
You are taking a bath in soup. You are becoming with the soup.
Absolutely.
All right.
Danny's like, okay, this really went off the rails.
All right, that is all the time we have today, but thank you so very much, Josh, for joining us today. We hope that we could enlighten you in the soup realm and that we could make you more of a soup person. So
I think I'm one step closer to being a soup person thanks to both of you, thanks to the Dannys.
I'm honored. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Josh a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Bye. Thank you.
That was Josh Daniel. You simply have to see him in Little Shop of Horrors off-Broadway when we can do that again safely. And if you need more Josh in your life, which you probably do, you should follow him on Instagram at Captain Smiles, CAPN Smiles. It's fitting. You must. We love Josh here at Soup Troupe, and we are so excited to go see Little Shop when we can. All right. We have another very special guest coming on the show today, which we are so excited about. Her name, of course, is Stephanie D'Abruzzo. You may know her as the Tony nominee for not only Kate Monster, but Lucy the Slut in Avenue Q on Broadway. She also has done Sesame Street, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, I'm so excited, Scrubs, and so much more that we are going to get all into today. Please welcome Miss Stephanie D'Abruzzo.
Hi. Hi, kids. Oh, did I enjoy that first half so much? I don't know if you could probably see me going, yeah, no, yeah, yes, brought the soup, yes. Yeah.
We are so happy to have you on Soup Troupe. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
All right. So the first question we ask is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Well, so my grandmother, my Italian grandmother, who came over from Italy in the late 50s, early 60s, would make this Italian wedding soup with tiny little meatballs and the cheese and the escarole. And that was really special. We would have that at Christmas. We didn't know how special it was. It was just something grandma made. And it's not something you find very easily in the wild, as it were. Certainly, I think Progresso's version of it is nothing like what grandma's version was. They can't package the cheese in there very well. But yeah, that was some good times there. My sister and I always talk about the wedding soup, and we have yet to be able to replicate it. So it's a memory.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we know that in Avenue Q, you were both Lucy the Slut and Kate Monster. So firstly, what is it like playing two characters, two like very huge characters in the same show? And if each of them were a soup, which soup would they be? And which soup, Stephanie, do you most identify with?
Wow, that's a lot of questions.
Yes.
Okay, well, I love playing multiple characters. I love doing more than one thing. That's one of the reasons I wanted to be a Muppet performer, is to get to play a wide variety of characters who are different than who I am and who I would get cast as. That's why I became a puppeteer to begin with. So I could play a role that this didn't matter. So that's the answer to that question. Okay, so soups for Kate, Lucy, and myself. Kate would probably be something that she shouldn't eat, something fattening. That she's like, I should not have this. I just really shouldn't have this New England clam chowder. It's so decadent. The chunky New England clam chowder is so decadent, but it's on sale. And so she would probably enjoy that and be that, because but she would think that she was vegetable soup. She would think that she's very good for you, but deep down she's a decadent little soup. Yeah, I think Lucy would be the most complicated soup. I think Lucy would be a multi-step soup, which would be the French onion in the carafe, in a nice ramekin, not that old brown thing, a nice white, gorgeous ramekin with the scalloped edges, not something you'd get at Cracker Barrel. Me, what kind of soup am I? What kind of soup am I? Boy, I've never thought of myself as a soup. I don't know what kind of soup I am, because I have so many kinds of soup that I enjoy, but I know that's not the question. See, it's not the kind of soup you enjoy, it's what kind of soup are you? I'd like to, I guess I'm not like all the other soups, so it would have to be a soup that's not like the other soups, and it would have to be a soup that's a little unexpected, but not necessarily beloved. So what would that be? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it would probably have to be some sort of. Oh, this is much harder than I thought it would be. I mean, it could possibly be like a bowl of yarn in a bowl, like some sort, or like, or like in The Simpsons, a plum in a man's hat floating in a bowl of perfume. Yeah, it would be something really, really. But see, I'm not that weird. Oh, oh man.
Okay, it is
Maybe
quite.
it would be shrimp bisque. Let's just say shrimp bisque because I like saying the word shrimp bisque.
Perfect. I love that.
Way too complicated.
So we know you had your Tony Award nomination for Avenue Q, which is amazing.
Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you.
It
was when you were all in short pants. You were children. You were watching your Teletubbies at the time. Yes.
So we need the inside scoop here. Were there any soups served at the Tony Awards? And if not, what soup do you wish that was at the Tony Awards?
Well, I think you're confusing the Tony Awards with the Golden Globes. There is no meal served at the Tony Awards themselves. There are no tables. It would be hilarious if the Tonys were like the Golden Globes, where you were at a table and going, just as your name was called. Because unlike the Golden Globes, where you never see anyone eat, I think at the Tonys, everyone would eat. Because we're not idiots. We're going to take the free food. In Hollywood, that's a different story. But we would all just be like, yeah, oh my God, Hugh Jackman's really good. He's doing a great job. But I guess the closest thing that I could, because, okay, this is going to be because I associate it so much with my time at Avenue Q, but it would be the matzo ball soup at the Edison Cafe, because I had that a lot. And this is probably a different answer to your question or a different line of but that's what I associate with my time on Broadway, because it was on 47th Street and you could go in there and order the matzo ball soup and it would pretty much come to your table before you got the last syllable of your order out. Can I have a matzo ball soup and a Diet Coke? And it would be there. And it was cheap and it was delicious and it was filling, but not too filling, because if you were having a 2-show day, you didn't want to have something that was too filling. It was easy on the throat. And you would always see crew people from other shows there too. It was a very democratic place, the Edison Cafe. And I'm sorry that you kids are never going to see its like again in the city. But anyway, that to me screams Broadway for me. Mm-hmm. is the matzo ball soup from the Edison Cafe. With or without noodles if it's the Passover season. Mm-hmm. I would always have with noodles because I'm a lapsed Catholic, but it's nice to know the options there.
Of course.
Speaking of which, that stuffing matzo ball soup, Danny, sounds incredible. I'm salivating still from that story a half hour ago.
Excited. I'm going to have a nice, huge bowl of it when I am done with Soup Troupe, and then I'll drop some off at Danny's house.
You're a good friend. That's a friend.
Oh, yeah. So we know, why do we know? We know that you were the employee of the month at Burger King.
I'm very proud of that. In 1991, before you were born. Yes.
So we need to know just like so many things about that. Firstly, when, in juxtaposition with your career, was your time at Dairy King?
No, at Burger King. Actually, it was around your ages. It was right before my junior year of college.
Okay.
So yeah, I was. So I grew up outside of Pittsburgh. After I graduated from high school, my folks got divorced. My mom and sister moved to North Carolina, where she got a teaching job. So I would spend my summer and holiday breaks in Jacksonville, North Carolina, near Camp Lejeune, an hour north of Wilmington, North Carolina, if anyone's familiar with that area. And at that time, it was just hard to get summer jobs. And I had some interesting summer jobs. But yeah, summer 1991, I worked at the Burger King by day, and then the Card drugstore at the mall at night. And so here's what I learned at the Burger King, that I couldn't afford to take an internship, but no internship was going to teach me that showing up on time and doing what's asked of you are things that apparently not everyone is capable of doing. And if you can show up on time and do the simple tasks that you're told, apparently in some circles that puts you above and beyond. And if you go a little above and beyond, that's more than what most people do. So that's what I did. I did my job. I did it well. I showed up on time. I cared because I'm going to care about anything I do. And that made me Employee of the Month in a short 9 weeks. In fact, they gave it to me early because they knew I was going back to college the next day. So I only got to celebrate one day as Employee of the Month. The little badge was broken, so I never got to actually, but I got $25 petty cash and a free meal. So, but I'm proud of that because it's my first professional award. And it really did teach me. I learned a lot about gratitude. I learned a lot about human nature. I learned a lot about just things that just adult real world things. I mean, personalities. I was there. This is a tangent. I was there when Burger King made the switch over from Pepsi products to Coke products. That was an interesting time to be anywhere because you'd think, hey, wow, everybody, Coca-Cola is the number one soft drink. You'd think that people, but in Jacksonville, North Carolina, see, you forget about the love of Mountain Dew. And to replace Mountain Dew with Mellow Yellow, there were adjectives hurled at me about the Mellow Yellow that I cannot repeat on a presumably family show, such as this.
Oh my goodness.
People really have strong feelings about Mellow Yellow as opposed to Mountain Dew in the South. So yeah, it was an amazing time. And I think about it a lot because I really did. I hated it. And yet I am so grateful that I had that experience.
Yeah.
I think everyone ought to work in a service industry at one point. And I'm lucky. Like, there by the grace of God did I not spend the rest of my life there. There by the grace of the God's fates and fairies was I not trapped in that and because there's nothing wrong with that life. It wasn't for me, because when I say trapped in that life, I don't say it to look down on that life. I say it because it just wasn't for me. But my very last day, and I don't tell this story very often, my very last day at Burger King, I was working the drive-thru and it was a Saturday, and total strangers sprayed me in the face with silly string. And I had no time to deal with it. And the best part about being blindsided like that by people you don't know, so you know it's not personal, is when you don't react, people don't know what to do with themselves. The people in that car did not, I don't know why they did it. I didn't see a video camera, so I don't think that they were trying to get on America's Funniest Home Videos or anything. It might have been a grand sociology experiment, or maybe they were just bored. They weren't kids. They were in their 20s. Yeah, and I took a beat and then just said, that'll be 15, 20. And they did not know what to do with themselves. And they just got their food and paid and drove away. And it was an hour. It was so busy that day. It was an hour before I could clean it up. And things happen. And I guess I learned then, and I need to remember this more often. Sometimes to not give people the reaction that they're expecting is more powerful than falling prey into what they thought. This has nothing to do with soup, and I'm so sorry.
Wow. I never thought that someone could learn so much at Burger King. That's amazing.
I'm telling you. I highly recommend taking one summer and not doing the internship that's tracked to your career, that do something that has nothing to do with what you want to do in life. Because also, as a performer, oh my gosh, get out in the world and do something that's not an actor.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't have fun. This is not to say that was fun, but it was valuable.
Yeah.
In every way. And it definitely was not lucrative, but it was valuable.
Wow. That's awesome. I never thought that like those things could come out of working at Burger King. That's amazing.
If you go to my now defunct blog, this was I think 2013. I wrote an 8-piece blog post essays about my time at Burger King. Yeah, wow. I'm not like the other actors. I write about Burger King. It was an interesting time. Sorry.
That's totally fine.
But that's why I put it on my website. Is I'm proud of it.
That's awesome.
I probably worked no less hard at Burger King than I did at Avenue Q, because that should be what you bring to every job you have
For
a
sure.
level of professionalism, and it represents who you are as a person. And anyway.
I love that.
Oh, good.
I feel
So
like I'm learning so much today. Like that's incredible.
I'm glad you feel that way.
All right, so next we're gonna play a fun game.
Okay.
So as a voiceover artist on so many shows, including Sesame Street, we wanted to showcase your different voices a little. So
all right.
we are gonna be playing a game called Voice That Soup.
I love this game.
And
I love this game.
we are gonna tell you a soup, and you need to give it a little catchphrase and talk in the voice that you think that soup would talk in.
This is the best game ever. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, we are about to play Voice That Soup, and away
We go.
tomato soup.
Well, okay, so here's the thing about tomato soup. I'm really a fruit. It's a fruit-based soup. You may not know that about tomato soup, but I want to make it very clear that I am a fruit-based soup. And I'm delicious, but I'll stain. I'm gonna stain you. You can wear a bib, but I'm gonna stain the bib. Just letting you know. Just putting it out there.
Amazing. That was just amazing. All right, next we have French onion soup.
Well, French onion soup's got a lot of cheese on it, and it's a very fancy soup, and it causes a lot of mucus, but it's also, it's again, it's a very fancy soup, in a thick tureen. And so I would say just make sure you have a breath mint handy, but I'm tough on the outside. Just a nice crusty loaf. Me and a nice crusty loaf go well together. I'm delightful is what I am. A little hot, though, when you break the seal of the cheese, I'm a little hot. So that's what I am. I'm hot. I'm a hot soup. I'm broiled. I'm broiling.
It's a dramatic soup.
Past what Danny and I were expecting from this.
You just thought I'd go meow 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 soup. Meow 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 soup. Not me, sister. Not me, brother.
Amazing.
All right, chicken noodle soup.
Gosh, I'm a great soup. I'm just the heartiest soup there is. Gee whiz, I'm like the cornerstone of the Campbell's industry. That's right. You can't do better than me. Those tiny little noodles and the teeniest pieces of chicken you ever did see. If I'm good enough for Andy Warhol, then I'm good enough for you.
Amazing. Next we have gazpacho.
Oh, I'm so tired of people talking about me. Gazpacho. I know. I'm unique. Get over it. It's just what I am. I'm just gazpacho. I just am. All right, don't ask me to explain. If you don't know who I am, Google me.
Perfect.
Don't confuse me with borscht.
Throwing it back to your soup memory, Italian wedding soup.
You gotta eat me. Okay, cause you're too skinny is what you gotta do. I got a full of little meatballs. I don't care if you're vegan. I'm delicious. You eat every bit of me. I'm stringy. I'm cheesy. I'm meaty. I got a little bit of green. I'm a healthy soup. I don't look healthy, but it's like, yes, I look like a cheeseburger in a bowl. However, I'm delicious. I got a clear broth. I got everything. I got the clear broth. I got the cheesy guna. I got the meats. I got the green. I'm wonderful. I love you. I'm a love in your tummy. If I would give you an internal hug, is what I do.
Beautiful. Next we have broccoli cheddar soup.
Well, hi there. Welcome to Panera and welcome to me. Because if you're going to come to Panera, you're going to have me.
because I got all of it. I'm very nutritious, but I'm also fattening as hell, and I got it all. And on a nice cold day, you can't do better than a nice thick soup. I'm thick. I'm one of the thickest soups ever because that broccoli thickens you up. I will make you thick. I'm thick. I will make you thick as well. I absolutely will.
See, no one ever sees this sausage. That's the problem with this, is how someone's going to be taking screen grabs and going, that's why she doesn't work on screen.
No, we are loving this. We could not have asked for anything better than this.
Oh, I'm glad. This is fun. This is
We
fun.
only have one more soup left, unfortunately.
Okay.
Where's that soup?
It pains me to say this is our last soup, but lentil soup.
Ah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, because I've got a bunch of little lentils. I'm very small. I got a tiny. I'm made up of many things. I got a lot of little lentils in me. I'm very good for you. I'm very, very good for you. I'm full of fiber. I'm full of fiber. And there's nothing better than fiber. And I'm brown. And I don't think that brown gets enough credit in this world. Because I'm not a dark brown. And I'm not a beige. I'm not quite a cocoa brown. No, I'm a nice brown. I'm a grayish, as a matter of fact. It's very stylish. Not a lot of people think of lentil soup as stylish, but I'm a grayish soup. And I think that's very underrated.
I play tomatoes and carrots and vegetables and bread stuffs, like these puppets that I play on Sesame Street. This is why I love doing what I do. I see a puppet, I see a little tomato puppet, and I love giving it a personality. So this is fun. Thank you for letting me be the giant ham that I am.
Thank you for doing that. That was a beautiful, beautiful segment. We have never played that game on Soup Troop. And
I'm so glad.
You were the perfect candidate, and you did absolutely incredible. You just made my day, personally.
Well, thank you. I know I went too far. You're probably thinking, yeah, so you're timing out the show. Yeah, it's probably about 10 seconds per soup. We got plenty of time for this game. And you didn't expect this monologue.
I love the monologue. I think it's important that we give every soup a monologue. So thank you for bringing a voice to the voiceless soups.
I'm happy to help.
We are about time to go to our Q&A section. If you have questions for Stephanie, leave them in the comments below. We will try to get to as many as we can. This first one comes from Anna Spenley. She says, it's Christmas time. Only this year, things are different. Santa put out a notice saying he will only come to houses that put out his favorite soup. What soup do you choose in hopes of him showing up?
I wouldn't do anything that would put chunks in his beard. So I don't think I would want anything that would be chunky. And I think he would need something. I think he'd want a spicy soup. You know what I mean? Like maybe okay. Well, this would be hard with the noodles. I have fallen in love with it. I can't eat it very much anymore, but the Maruchan Ramen makes a chili ramen. And it's hard to find. I've only seen it in the Jack's 99-cent stores in Manhattan. It's in a green package. And if you like spicy, if you like a little cayenne in your ramen, it's delightful. So I would do that without the noodles. Although maybe I'd make it so I'd break up the noodles so that they could easily go in so you wouldn't have Slurpee all on his beard. Because I think he needs a little pep. He's going to need a little something to get him through. But you don't want like meat and peas in the beard. So you wouldn't want a vegetable. I'm gonna go with a modified chili ramen. No egg, no nothing fancy, nothing like you would want in a ramen. Just a homemade ramen, like a square ramen, but broken up so that the noodles just go on in.
Absolutely, I think it would work. I really do.
Oh, good. And if he spills it on his red, it would blend in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim Perlman says there's a fine line between what is a soup and what is not a soup. In your opinion, judgment-free zone, could cereal be considered a soup?
You know what? Absolutely. If you you let Frosted Flakes get a little too milky and soggy, that starts looking a lot like soup. Yeah, because you've got the milk element. If milk is the broth, then the flakes are the noodle. So there's a good analogy there. I would say that cereal could absolutely be a soup if the conditions are right for it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I
I can sense you disagree.
We have strong opinions on
But
cereal.
that's okay.
Strong feelings.
I'm saying could be a soup. I'm not
Okay,
saying
yeah.
is a soup, but
Could
could
be
be
a
a soup.
Yes.
Words matter.
Words
Words matter.
Okay. C. Hargrove says, follow-up Avenue Q question. As Kate's penny falls from the Empire State Building, it magically turns into soup. What soup is the perfect soup to knock Lucy unconscious?
A can of Dinty Moore beef stew. It just turns into a full-on can of Dinty Moore and kunk. You didn't say it couldn't
Wow.
turn into a can
Yeah, of course.
of soup.
Perfect.
And Dinty Moore's heavy.
yes.
That's a heavy can. In fact, it would probably kill her. It would probably kill her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's a theoretical situation. That's okay.
don't throw cans of soup off the Empire State Building. Please never do that. You really shouldn't throw anything off of anything taller than anything. Just don't
Ever.
throw anything at anyone ever. Just be decent, people, please. Okay, sorry.
Kim Perlman says, how would Ubi's Uma and Inca go about eating soup?
Sure.
It is even possible. Lots to think about.
Well, it's messy, of course, but they would just like any, Uma, you go. That would be what she would do. Did not need spoon. Uma blind. This is blind Uma, no eyes. But yes, this is the bowl, and we just go. And she drank tea. She stuck her pinky out to drink the tea. So she could do the same with a nice consomme. Sure.
For sure.
Sure.
All right, we have time for one more question, and it comes from Lisa Von Hoff, who wants us to clarify that this is Lydia, by the way. She says, how long does it take to find your people that could be your quirky creative self?
I love this question because people don't ask it, but I can tell you exactly when. It was when I was a freshman in college, and at Northwestern University, there are these the residential college system. And these residential colleges are theme-based, and I lived in the communications residential college, and we had equipment there. We had a dark room, and we had video equipment long before you had a smartphone that you could, shoot things with, before camcorders were a thing, before computers, before everyone had a computer. So we had an indoor radio station, and the people that I met there we became a creative commune, and it really was a place to fail. And we would make student films at 3 a.m. I recruited them to help me when I decided I want to become a puppeteer, and I was building my crappy looking puppets. They were my crew. They believed in what I did. We all were we were all in each other's projects, people who weren't even film majors. Some of my favorite performers were journalism majors. They were so funny, and they just dove into the fun. That was where I found my tribe. They accepted me for who I was. I gained the freshman 45 in college. I had the bad late 80s, early 90s perm cycle. I blame them for me staying fat because they never said I was fat. They never judged me based on the way I looked. I was a mess, but they accepted me for who I was. They loved me for who I was. I loved them for who they were. And at that time, there was a housing lottery at Northwestern. There was a housing shortage. And if you were active in the residential college system, you could earn points to stay in the residential college. Most people don't live in dorms all 4 years. I lived in the dorm all 4 years. 15 of my other freshman friends lived in the dorm all 4 years. The man who became my husband, who was there 5 years before I was, who I met through these people, was there all 4 years. It was a creative fraternity. It was a creative co-ed fraternity. And the people that I've met from other generations, even people I didn't go to school with, there's this shared history that you have. And yeah, they were my people. And I was so lucky to find them because they let me be brave enough to take the chances of me deciding, hey, maybe I want to pursue puppetry. And they supported it and helped me along the way. So I was so fortunate to have that experience. And I wish that on everyone. I really do.
That was amazing. That sounds so lovely. Wow.
I was very lucky. I hope you can get that after this pandemic is over and you get to have a real college experience. I hope that you can. It's the spirit of collaboration that exists. Getting other ideas from like-minded people. I think that was the best part of college for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that so much.
Yay!
That is all the time we have. And
Thank you
once
for
again,
having me.
thank you so much for coming on the show. We know that this was a very strange thing that was thrown in your court.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming here and talking about soup with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for asking me, and thanks for letting me play the best game ever.
Of course.
The best game ever.
That is all her.
I love it. Thank
Everyone
you.
at home, join us in giving Stephanie a 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you.
Thank you. I'm so happy and lucky that you are.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays, everyone. Stay safe. Wear masks. Bye.
That was Stephanie D'Abruzzo. You simply must follow her and everything she does on Twitter at D'Abruzzo Tweets. We are so excited to watch her on Sesame Street and everything when we can safely again. This was an amazing episode, Danny. I'm shocked. I'm taken aback.
Yes.
And if you at home want to know more about Soup Troop, we want to stay posted on all of our episodes every weekend. You could follow us on Instagram at Soup Troop Official. You can follow us on Facebook at Soup Troop Online, or you can like this video and subscribe down below. We really appreciate your support, and we are so happy to do this every week for you guys.
If you want to read more about us, you can read more about us on Broadway World. The description is below. Make sure to tell all your friends about Soup Troop for more super fun episodes. So thank you for joining us. This was a fabulous episode.
All right, everyone at home, we have one more thing to say for you. I am Danny.
And I am Danny.
And this has
has
been
been Soup Troop Online.
Join us in a 1, 2, 3. Have a
super day.
Thank you, guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first official day of the Soup Club.
So Soup Club is where we get the soup at lunch and we talk about it. My opinion was that I enjoyed the broth. It was too thin. I didn't get enough of it.
The spice is actually healthy. We're all sweet today. That's no more conjecture. That's why.
I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. 3 spoons. I give this a solid 3.75. 4.5.
3 spoons.
Soup Troop is really inclusive, and Soup Troop is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good, and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Danny and Soup Troop! I'm Danny.
And I'm Danny. 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you!
It's gonna be really fun.
Thank you, Soup Troop.
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 My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troop Online.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hi!
Hi.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi! Hi!
Hey!
You guys, I'm so excited to be on Soup Troop.
Hello.
Hey!
Hey.
It's me!
Hi. Hey.